This is my entry into the Small Workshop Maker Challenge. John Clothier from the Woodworking Shed set the challenge, and as well as myself, Paul Lockwood, Paul Wilmore and Pam Harris from Highland Boxes have accepted the challenge. There are bound to be more makers by now, so do check the playlist that accompanies this video. This is the Spellcaster 6, so called because it's made from 6 species of tree chosen for their unique magical powers, and the wand is brought to life through the power of a dragon's eye. For the handle, I'm going to use some walnut and some Iroko and some cherry. This is a spindle left over from another job, and some oak, but the oak that I've got isn't big enough. I wonder if Pam's got any. Come on, Pam, what are you doing?
Hello.
Oh, hello Pam, it's Stephen at the 8x6.
Hi Stephen, how's things today?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm making a little wand and I need some oak. Do you have some oak?
Do I have a piece of oak? I certainly do have a piece of oak, just sitting here.
Oh, great. Can I scrounge it?
Tell you what, I'll get this bit to you straight away.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, yeah. Oh, that's great. Thanks ever so much. Yeah, thanks a lot. See you now. Bye. Bye. Well, that took her a while to answer. I wonder what she was up to. Walnut is in touch with the elements of the earth and is used for teleportation, astral travel, weatherworking and averting lightning. Iroko harbours evil spirits that power spells of unquestionable corruption. No ill effects have been reported by those carrying Iroko, providing other magical woods are present to quell and contain the evil spirits within, but allow us to harness their power. Cherry is a wood of femininity and draws off the elements of earth. It's used for healing, romance and binding spells. Oak is a masculine wizard wood and draws off the element of fire. It's ideal for protection, defensive, prosperity, sacrificial and power spells. After cutting the timber square, I remove the fuzzies and any ripples left by the saw blade. I mark a face side and face edge on each piece to help with the glue up. To make sure everything lines up, these two face edges will glue together and these two face edges will glue together. This face side will glue to this face side, so everything remains square and resembles a Battenberg cake. Because the surface area being glued is small, I apply 2 clamps on one side before turning everything over and applying 2 clamps on the opposite side, just to eliminate any deflection introduced by the clamping pressure. The 4 clamps will provide an even pressure along the mating surfaces. Once the clamps are off, I true up both face sides and glue them together. Beech, a wood associated with elements of air and earth, and is used in healing, love, friendship, peace and romance spells. Placing it at each end of the handle, beech controls and encapsulates the elements and powers of the other 4 woods. Before I start gluing the handle together, I clean up the face so I've got a true surface to start building on. This bamboo skewer is going to help me keep all my Battenberg slices in place during the glue up process. There we go. So we've got them all the right way around. So now I can put some glue on here, slide one up, press it into place, glue the next one, slide it up, press it into place, and the next, and the next, and the next. I just use these little ceramic pots because they're quite heavy and they don't move around too easily, so you're not going to knock them about. So I use glue in this one, and I've just got a little bit of water and a small brush just for mopping up bits of glue so I can see what I'm doing. And I always have a piece of paper towel just in case. I have to remember the pattern that I'm doing. I'm doing a spiral, so it's going to be like this. So I'll line them up, then turn it the amount I want, and then just press it home and let the glue ease out. then do the next one. So I'm relying on the suction of the glue to hold it while I dab the next bit of glue on. And then line this one up to match the previous, turn it, press it home. And it does grip quite well, so you don't need to worry too much about it moving, but if you do, just put a little bit of pressure on for about 20 seconds or so, and it will grip even better. Right, next one. So that's the last one on, and then finally, have I got enough glue? Yeah. I'm going to put on the last segment, which is my circular piece of beech for the end. So we'll get a bit of glue on that. And push that home. So I'll get rid of the last of this skewer, which I don't need now, and the little bit of skewer left is going to grip. Move these out of the way. In the chuck. Well, I'm not grip it, but if I round it, then I know I'm nice and straight. I can clamp that in and tighten up the chuck and put pressure on all the joints. I start by drilling a mortise. This will accept the wand later, but for now I bung it with a live centre for stability and very carefully knock off the corners. Once I get it to round, I can speed up and work to the final size with some gentle scraping. I round off the beech with a tickle on the spindle gouge. With a 3/8 beading tool, I mark where the bead is going to be. With a bit more material removed to make some space, I can fully cut the bead. I just play around with the shape a little bit, trying to find something that's pleasing to the eye. Sanding down through the grits and finally abrasive cloth, I burnished the handle with some shavings that just seemed to be lying around. A wax and a buff and the job's a good un. I got so excited when planning out how I was going to make this handle, I didn't really think it through properly. I now needed some way to hold the workpiece the other way around, and I decided on a jam chuck for this, but there wasn't a lot of surface area left to jam on. Even wetting the jam chuck to swell the grain to try and stop it slipping didn't help really. As there was not much wood to remove anyway, I thought I'd just take it easy and get on with it. A bit of patience and it was done. Note to self, think it through properly next time. The sixth and final species is birch. Birchwood wards off evil, banishes fears and builds courage. It's associated with beauty, and the birch's vibration heightens tolerance of not only oneself but others. It's the tree of inception, of new beginnings, and associated with Freya, the white goddess Brigid, the patron of crops and birth. That's what the fairies told me at the magical tree in the enchanted forest. Or it might have been just a bad trip I had. I'll have to watch where I get my cut from in future. Vibration was a problem. All I could do was to get the tool rest as close as I could and support the piece from behind with my hand and take gentle cuts. Because of a defect in the wood, I ended up turning the wand the wrong way round, with the thin end near the chuck. While Swambo, she who always must be obeyed, was out, I went on a raid and picked out some garish colours. Start with jet black to form the pupil. A pin helps me work the varnish into shape. With this pin, I pull out fine lines while it's still tacky, and I go back in with the black to make sure the pupil remains opaque. I also feather the edge with black and strike through with a pin. On top of this goes a layer of sparkly red, and this gets the pin treatment also. Then a globby coat of Golden Glory, which is going to be the base coat of the iris. This softens the previous colours and lets me strike through them all, blending them together. The final layer is Cherry Red, which seals and tints the entire iris to give it a creepy, menacing look.